Today I'm speaking to Lesley McIntyre, who is a certified BodyTalk instructor and an advanced practitioner. She works out of Amethyst Natural Healing Centre in Ballymena, County Antrim.
Okay, BodyTalk is a dynamic healthcare system, which we would call a holistic healthcare system. I think most people are now becoming aware of what holistic means, in that it's bringing everything into the equation. It's not just focusing on someone's physical ailments or their energetic ailments. It is actually taking in the whole person approach, where we're looking at exactly what's going on with that person. So what we're doing is we're looking for communication breakdowns, because what is going on with the body symptom-wise has a tendency to be a communication breakdown somewhere, and everything that's going on with the body is represented in the brain, and everything that's in the brain is represented in the body. So what we have to do is encourage the body and the brain to talk to each other. So that is where we come. That's where BodyTalk's coming from, is helping the body to talk to itself better. The BodyTalk system has been around since about 1995. It was developed by Dr. John Veltheim, who is an Australian chiropractor, who also has a background in traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and lots of different things. And John was actually the principal of the Brisbane College of Acupuncture and Natural Therapies for a few years. And while he was there, he was learning lots of different systems. And he then started to formulate in his mind the best way to put the best healthcare system together. Then things started to take off, and he then moved to Florida. And the International BodyTalk Association is actually based in Sarasota in Florida. And that's where John would work from now, but he is internationally renowned and he teaches all over the world. And the great thing about BodyTalk is it's just growing very, very fast. And there's very, very exciting developments with it, because it just keeps evolving and getting better and better. So as the understanding of how healthcare works starts to deepen, and this wisdom of the holistic nature that people are becoming more aware of, and that the BodyTalk system is all based on this holistic knowledge that everything is interlinked, and the only way to help a symptom to disappear for good is to bring in the whole picture of the person. We actually use the analogy of the iceberg in BodyTalk, where if you were to describe your symptoms, it would be the tip of the iceberg. So that's about 8% of what you know. So if you look underneath the water there's 92% hidden underneath the water. So with BodyTalk, that's what we're looking for. So we're actually we're using a biomuscular feedback technique, using a muscle test, to actually ask the body what it needs help with. What is the whole story around a symptom? It's not just a vertebrae that's out of place or a problem with a kidney. There's a whole big story around those, and it could be bringing in emotional stuff. It could be bringing in mental stuff, like your psychological thinking, your belief systems, your prejudices, things that are concepts in your mind. So when someone comes in for a session, we do a wellness form. So that gives us an idea of what the person thinks is going on with them. But remember, that's the tip of the iceberg. But we keep that just in the file, and it does give us a reference point, really, to see how the person's progressing as their program goes on. So what we do preferably is to have them to lie down, really, because if they're relaxing, the body have a better chance of actually the system actually healing. But that's not essential. If the person's not able to lie down, we can equally work with this with a person sitting in a chair. And from that, we then do the testing that I mentioned before. We're just asking the body yes or no questions based on the languaging of the BodyTalk procedure and the BodyTalk protocol. And the languaging then gives us all the information that we need, so all those communication breakdowns in the system. Then once we have all those communication breakdowns into that formula, we do the tapping technique that I mentioned. So just tapping them on the head and tapping them on the heart. And then that kickstart the body then starting to do what it needs to do for that person to heal, and setting up the right environment, the right conditions for that to actually happen. So there's no actual treatment in BodyTalk. We don't have to physically manipulate anyone or get them into funny positions or anything like that. We just encourage the body to do itself, even with structural things. We don't have to actually physically do a structural correction. We can just encourage the body to do it naturally. You know, the number of sessions is going to depend on what's going on with them. You know, equally, people come every single month whether they need to or not, because they feel such a difference. BodyTalk has been around in Northern Ireland for probably around about 5 years. The first actual practitioners class we had here was 3 years ago, which was the one that I attended. And from that we have been getting more and more practitioners every year, but we've been relying on instructors to come from Canada and from the States to help with that procedure. We now have 12 qualified practitioners in Northern Ireland, and around about the same in the south of Ireland, and then in total there's probably for the UK and Ireland maybe about 90 practitioners, and there are BodyTalk practitioners all over the world. It's actually taught in 39 countries already in such a short period of time, and that shows you how dynamic this system is. You know, people get results, and that's why they come back. Okay, so I actually came to BodyTalk quite by surprise. I had been studying kinesiology for 4 years, and before that I was I'd studied Reiki and various different styles of Reiki, and I felt that I had done all the studying I wanted to do, put it that way. I ended up getting 3 emails within the space of about 2 weeks inviting me to attend this thing called BodyTalk. And I'd convinced myself I'd done enough studying. When I saw this, I had that feeling, you know, I really need to do this. Whatever it takes, I need to do this. So I started then to see if I could fit onto the class. There was classes coming up soon, and I went first of all to a presentation, and I knew after about half an hour that this was right for me, and I just wanted to do this. So the approach that we take with BodyTalk training is we encourage people to find their way onto a BodyTalk Access class. And the BodyTalk Access class is teaching people 5 of the most dynamic techniques in BodyTalk. So one of those techniques is helping to get the brain balanced and working in synchronicity. There's one to help reduce your reactions to stress, which, let's face it, we all need. We have one for hydration. So most people would be dehydrated. They're either not drinking enough water, or the water's not going to where it needs to go to in the system. We also have one for the immune system, so it's boosting people's immune system and keeping it nice and strong. And then there's also a technique that works energetically but can help the musculoskeletal system. So that's the first. We would encourage people to go along to the Access programme first, and then from that they could decide if they want to take things further. The actual practitioner's course is a very intense 4-day class. Where we would do a lot of theory about BodyTalk, a lot of background. We teach a whole lot of different techniques as well, and actually teach people the use of, we call them the left-brained tools. We have the protocol, and we have a language, and we're blending the left brain with the right brain. We've got a procedure, and it's kind of encouraging people to work in what we call the zone. So you'll hear of sports people that work in the zone. We have the tools in BodyTalk to help practitioners to very quickly work with a client in this zone, so that the information that's coming in is what's right for that person very, very fast. So at the end of that 4-day class, people can just run with BodyTalk, and they can use it for friends and for family. Now if someone then wants to be a practitioner, they do have to either do an advanced practical, or they can monitor the actual practitioner's course again, which we call it modules 1 and modules 2, and they actually have to do 50 sessions. They're not documented at this stage, it might be in the future, but at the minute they just have to say that they've done 50 sessions on friends and family, and from that they could actually take the exams, the practitioner's exams. So anyone who is certified, you will find that they have done the actual practitioner's exams, and it's written, and it's a verbal practical exam as well. What happens with BodyTalk is whatever someone else has already learned, whatever they're already a practitioner of, the system will bring that in for them. That studying is not lost. That makes every BodyTalk practitioner that you go to completely unique.